A few years ago, when I still lived in my grandparents' house, I found something I should never have touched. It was an old doll, one of those that seemed to hold secrets in their gaze. It was in the attic, forgotten among old boxes and dust, with a tattered dress and a cracked porcelain face. At first glance, it seemed harmless, but something about it made me uneasy. I remember holding it carefully, and the moment I had it in my hands, a chill ran down my spine. I took it to my room, thinking I would clean or maybe restore it. But from that night on, everything began to change. At first, nothing happened. The doll sat on my shelf, staring straight at the door. But when night fell, the sound started. Low whispers, almost inaudible, coming from everywhere. I tried to convince myself it was my imagination, or maybe the wind sneaking through the window, but the feeling was very real. One night, I woke up startled. There was a soft crying, almost sobbing, but it wasn't coming from outside or the street. The sound came from my own room. I turned on the light immediately and saw nothing, until my eyes landed on the doll, and it was on the floor, face down, as if it had fallen off the shelf. I thought maybe I had gotten up half asleep and knocked it down without realizing, but I had no memory of moving. I picked it up and put it back, not thinking much of it. However, that was just the first of many sleepless nights. The laments grew clearer over time. They were like complaints, words I couldn't fully understand, but that chilled me to the bone. Every time I looked at the doll, I felt like its porcelain eyes moved slightly, as if following me. Not only that, but I felt something heavy and dark filling the room, a presence growing stronger by the hour. I tried to get rid of it, I swear. Once I threw in the trash, but the next day, I found it sitting on my bed, its head slightly tilted, as if watching me. Another time I buried it in the garden, but it reappeared on the doorstep, as if the house itself protected it. That's when I understood it wasn't an ordinary doll. Something, or someone was inside it. The night I decided to face whatever was trapped in that object, a storm was raging outside, and the lights flickered. I sat in front of it with a lit candle and spoke. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" At first, there was only silence. Then, a faint voice, like a whisper in the wind, answered, "Free me?" The doll's eyes seemed to glow with faint, dark light. At that moment, the candle went out and I felt a freezing cold, as if death were near. I knelt, trembling, and promised to help. I searched old books and rituals, trying to understand how to free that trapped soul. I discovered the doll had been used in an ancient rite to trap a vengeful spirit, someone unjustly condemned whose pain was locked inside. With some fear, I performed the ritual I found, saying the words to release the spirit. The doll trembled in my hands, then, with one last sigh, shattered into 1,000 pieces. Silence returned to the room. Since that night, I haven't heard any laments or whispers, and the dark presence disappeared. But still, when I close my eyes, I feel a faint voice saying thank you, and I know that even though the doll is gone, some of that pain stays with me. So, if you ever find an old doll that seems to cry at night, I advise you not to touch it, because some things are meant to stay silent.